Brother, I'm going, run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I like it's a moment, I'll make sure it's an explosion. Cause lately I've been seeing stars, trying to kick out on this short course. But it's no holds barred, middle fingers like I'm Stone Cold.
What is up, everybody? I'm WeTooDeep. That's DJWAVYD, and he brought on a special guest. Introduce your friend here, WavyD.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? This is the boy right here. This is day one. You know what I'm saying? It's the boy Ty Smooth, Ty Breezy. You know what I'm saying? However you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? Up and coming DJ in the Northeast Connecticut area. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the boy.
The boy, what's up? What's up? Thanks for having me.
All right, and so we're gonna get started here, just like always. That QR code in the bottom, that's our affiliate link to get your WWE merch, and just like that Never Give Up shirt that he's got on down there. If you were watching during
WrestleMania,
I think it was 25% off during Mania with 2 days.
Got me a shirt.
So you could have used that link there. But we're gonna recap WrestleMania and our thoughts on it. So overall, what would you guys think about what you've seen? Did you like it? Not, did it live up to the hype?
It lived up to the hype, yes and no. Going into it, I was more hyped about night one, but I found myself leaving more entertained by night two. Night one was really good, had some good matches, but also had some disappointments. Whereas night two, I feel like it was solid start to finish. So night two was probably my favorite of the two nights.
I only saw what I saw on night two. I didn't watch anything on night one. I saw like clips on Twitter, like what happens on Twitter. Like I saw Roman and Seth Rollins and The Rock and Cody beefing, all that stuff. Like I know what was gonna happen. I saw it on Twitter. Like I kept up to date what was popular. But I like night two from what I saw. I was enjoyed. Like I don't even watch wrestling like that, but I was enjoyed.
Right. So Wavy D was like, "Hey, I got someone who's less than a casual here. What's less than a casual? Like someone who don't watch. Well,
that explains it.
So that that's something that I've been trying to say. Like these wrestling companies got to get fans like this entertained, and when they do, they might make new fans out of it. So yeah, I would agree. Night two was definitely the better night for me. I think I left a lot more. There was a lot more emotion in the matches that happened on night two. And when you watch wrestling like I do, and I care about the story more than the match itself, and everything that happened with Drew and Seth Rollins and Damian cashing in, and all of course that main event was pretty cool. We had Cena show up, Undertaker show. I didn't expect Undertaker at all.
He was definitely a last minute replacement for Stone Cold. I'm pretty sure.
But I've thought about it. I like Taker being there more than Austin because Taker actually has beef with Heyman and Roman, whereas Austin really doesn't.
Okay, true.
So as much as like Austin has beef with The Rock, I felt like like Cena had beef with the Bloodline. Undertaker has beef with the Bloodline. That would have made more sense to me. I don't know. What would you guys say your favorite match of that? At least night two. I don't really think night one really had anything spectacular. What was your favorite match of Mania?
You want to go first, Ty?
Sure. I like the one with Kevin Owens. Of course, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, and Andy Orton. And I also like the main event too. Like I was enjoyed. Like I said, I was entertained. Like when I saw, like I'm wrestling casual, but when I saw that speed come out, I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was funny. And then I seen last time I saw Logan fight was the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah.
That's the last time he fought Kevin Owens.
Yes.
We did the Kevin Owens punched him, then he got DQ'd.
Yeah.
So I saw that one, and then that was like a good match too. So it was a good conclusion to it. I'll definitely keep posting to see what happens next. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And the last one, I was engaged because Did we see Roman Reigns when we went in person to see it, DJ?
When we went to SmackDown, we saw Roman Reigns. When it was me, you, Ricky, Pat, Milo. I forgot who came, but when we went for my birthday, we saw Roman Reigns at SmackDown, and then when we went to Monday Night Raw, we didn't see Roman, but we saw Seth, Dom, all those guys. But
I remember seeing Seth and Dom because I remember booing him just to boo him. But so I like him in the final 5 minutes of it. I was like, what the heck? It was cool watching everybody come out. Even I don't watch wrestling like that, but I knew who the people were. I was laughing.
Right.
So it was cool.
Hey, I that's a job well done on WWE. Then use the people that everyone know. What would you say, DJ, as your favorite match of the weekend?
My favorite match of the weekend had to be the Jay versus Jimmy Uso sibling rivalry match. No, I'm joking. That match did not live up to expectation. That was not my favorite match. I'm a guy for ladder matches, so I really enjoyed the 6 tag team 12-man ladder match, you want to call it, the 6-pack ladder match. But as far as a traditional wrestling match, of all these, maybe Rhea Becky, or Bailey Io. I think Bailey Io, because I like how Damage Control didn't interfere at all. It was a straight one-on-one match.
Right.
Bailey showed her stuff. Io showed up. Those guys had great chemistry. So
that's this is night 2. Did I see that one?
Yeah, that was night 2. Yeah, that was the second. Right? The second to last match. Bailey and Io, as far as a traditional one-on-one wrestling match, was my favorite on the card. So that's my favorite traditional match. And then as far as all the matches, I probably gotta say the triple threat match as well. And it was crazy because that was the match that I went in with second to least amount of hype. I would say AJ and LA Knight, I didn't have much hype for personally, but even triple threat was probably least amount of hype after that.
Right.
Excuse me, but Logan showed up, Randy showed up, Kevin. I like how they treated Randy and Kevin like they were actually smart and
right.
They actually had good ring psychology, and they weren't just two stupid guys who were we're gonna be friends all week, but as soon as the third match starts, we're gonna hate each other. Their friendship carried over into the match, and then even when Logan tried to push them into each other and it made them actually smart, and they're let's keep beating him up.
Right.
And then they come to blows until Randy tried to be Randy, take the opportunity. But then that point turned to a great match. And Logan Paul, I feel like every time he wrestles, I praise him more and more. Logan Paul is just doing his thing. He's up there with the top draws in the company. As far as wrestling as a business, he's a top 10 draw across all promotions.
Yeah. That match was one of my favorites. I think anytime Logan's there and he brings someone with him, Speed was the last person I would have thought ever would be anywhere near WWE. And it's been forever since I've even really paid attention to his videos. But that was highly entertaining. And he sold that RKO on the table. He sold the hell out of that. Very good job. But I'm gonna say Sammy versus Gunther in terms on night 1 was probably my favorite pure wrestling match. Though Gunther did lose, so I didn't necessarily like the result. They couldn't book that match for night 2, so Gunther's reign isn't 666 in the record book.
True.
But I mean, I enjoyed it. So I guess my question would then be, and this is more something maybe DJ would know more about, but would you consider this the best WrestleMania ever?
I would say out of the recent shows, the recent WrestleManias that I can remember, if I'm just going back the last 5 years that I can recall, matches from, I feel like as a wrestling fan, there's two ends of the spectrum. You either have extreme recency bias, or you live in the past.
Right.
It's very seldom that wrestling fans, especially ones who watch a lot of wrestling, they can go back and pick maybe something from 2 years ago or like something from 5 years ago. It's either like Attitude Era was the peak, or like this new stuff is the best ever. So, there is one WrestleMania in particular that I have very fond memories of. It was the one where they have all of the wrestlers' faces on like posters around the arena. Around I think around WrestleMania 22 or 27, no 22 I think, 21 or 22. When Mickey James fought Trish Stratus. That WrestleMania.
Okay, I think that's 21, 20. Yeah, it's one of those two. I don't fully remember. I'm not.
That was my favorite WrestleMania as far as a fan and going back and watching matches, because I'm pretty sure that's also the Mania that had Edge and Foley, and I have to go back.
You're gonna need to go look at that one up. I have no idea.
But that was probably my favorite from pure memory, was that WrestleMania, the nostalgia. But this one definitely lived up to the hype. Yep. And I won't go on a rant, but one thing to look at is, do we think it's the best because we're being told every show of Raw or SmackDown or every press conference, this is the greatest, this is the biggest, like, you know what I'm saying? Or is it truly the greatest, the biggest, and like the best ever? So, I definitely got to go back and look at stuff, but it was definitely really good. Definitely really good.
And I guess I'll say for Ty, as someone who doesn't necessarily watch the product as much, the argument with us wrestling fans is always like, should we create storylines and matches that appeal to people like you who don't watch as much? So as a fan who doesn't watch as much, just watching WrestleMania, what you watch, would that make you like want to continue to watch?
I would say I think watching the Royal Rumble helped a lot, because that's how I knew what was going on. That's how I'm not gonna lie, before the Royal Rumble, I didn't know Cody Rhodes at all. I knew like Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, Lee Ripley. I know them, Roman Reigns obviously, but it never like telling me what happened, like how long Roman Reigns has been having the title, the Cody story, and then we saw like him win the Royal Rumble, right? And DJ was telling me they gotta finish the story, whatever. And then like a couple weeks after, I saw on Twitter, like when I saw the Royal Rumble, I get like all the Twitter notifications. Right. So like I know semi what's going on in the WWE universe, I guess, because I knew that The Rock came back because of Vince McMahon or whatever, like all that drama he had. So I know The Rock was there, and everybody was upset because it made it look like The Rock was gonna face Roman, right? Mm-hmm. Then they like ended up siding whatever happened. But I would definitely watch it again. Like I was even I didn't tell DJ this, but I kept watching a Raw yesterday. Like keep posting. I was like, wanted to find out what happened. So I was entertained. Like I saw like John Cena, R-Truth a little bit. So I have to keep posted.
That's I didn't know you were watching.
Yeah, I had Peacock. I had Peacock now, so I'm good.
Yes. Now, Ty, tell me a little. Tell me what you know about AEW.
I don't know much.
Not a damn thing. No. It's all right. Neither do I. I can't tell you half of what's going on right now. There's a point behind that. One product aims to get casuals to watch, and they fill stadiums, and the other, well,
or even less than casual, not novice, maybe a wrestling novice.
Right.
Are you the novice, DJ?
No, I think you're the novice.
I think I'm low novice. That's me.
Is it novice like
novice like
a game or
beginner?
Something?
That's like beginner, I guess.
Yeah, you're beginner. You're getting introduced to the wrestling world. Well, quick side note: I went back and looked at the WrestleMania 22 card. Mm-hmm. This had a great card. So in your free time, I'll send you the link. Look at this match card. Okay. This is my favorite WrestleMania of all time.
I mean, I'm biased. My favorite's 33, but that's because I was there. But going back and watching it, I mean, there wasn't really anything in particular that was any good. But I was just there, so I'm sort of biased to it.
That wasn't the heist of the century, right?
No, 33 was in Orlando. That was when Roman beat Taker.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we thought Taker was retiring, and the entire stadium was crying as we were leaving because Taker left his hat and boots and shit in the ring, and we all thought. And then Vince brought him back the next year to win for no reason whatsoever.
So you got to boost that record a little bit.
But I'm trying to think of what else we can ask about Mania here. Well, I guess we could talk about Roman losing the. Were you surprised that happened? Or I mean, I kind of figured it would happen the way night one ended. That Cody was coming in to win.
I'm not gonna lie. When Cody finally hit that third crossroads, like even before the pin happened, I was like, "Oh, it's over. It's actually over." Because the whole thing was Cody could never hit that third crossroads because for some reason he walks to the edge of the ring. It says, he does two in the middle of the ring, and that third one he like backs up to the ropes or whatever he does. I feel like that's every time it happens. But this time he actually hit the third crossroads, and I was like, it's really over. It's about to end. And then that actually happened. And I was in disbelief. Because honestly, I thought it was 50-50. I thought, Roman holds on to it. But then at that point, I was just like, well, if Roman holds on to it, what does Cody do from here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I was still under the expectation that maybe somehow The Rock can reverse it on Raw, especially when he came down to the ring. But then I'm just like, he won clean in the middle of the ring. Like there's no way to like really reverse it. So like my storyline died that I cooked up for like 3 months. That died. But I'm happy for Cody. He worked really hard. He saying 2.5, 3 straight years now. He's one of the top faces, if not the top face in all of wrestling. And he held his own against The Rock, especially because he had limitations at first. The Rock was, saying whatever he wanted, swearing left and right. Cody still had to play by the rules for the most part until, Triple H let him take the gloves off. Because Cody held his own. And so I'm happy going forward. And also it opens up a lot more stuff now. Yeah. Because the problem was, who could Roman have lost to? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody was built up like Cody. But now that Cody has the title, you necessarily don't have to keep it on him forever. You know what I'm saying? Let him hold it to like SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series or whatever. And then also, World Heavyweight titles in play now. I'm still trying to get Randy versus Cena at WrestleMania 41 for the record-breaking title reign. That's what I'm trying to book.
Okay. That'd be interesting. I don't know if we get that, but I'd say for me, as someone who sort of came in and was sort of like talking all this shit against Cody Rhodes, like, nah, Roman's got this. Like I've been like the biggest. I'm not gonna say the biggest because there's a lot of people that I've seen on like TikTok who are like depressed that Roman Reigns lost. I'll be honest. Like as soon as it happened, like I was a little bit upset. But then I sat here. I mean, I could come on here and be like, "Oh, fuck Cody Rhodes." No, I'm happy for him. We gotta be real with this. Not be one of these internet like trolls that sit here and make this their entire personality. Cody did his thing. The story makes sense to have him lose at Mania. And it looks like we're going to build Cody versus Rock. I heard next WrestleMania is when that match is going to happen.
I'm hoping it happens with without the title, just like pure bragging rights.
Right. Cody did his thing. There's a reason last year when Cody lost to Roman that everyone was like, "Oh, Cody should have won," and I'm like, "No, be patient. This is going to get really good." And here we are, and it's really good. And Roman Reigns again puts over another top baby face. It's like every baby face they have right now, Roman's put over for the most part.
Remember, if you look back to the first Cody, the first attempt he had, what did Cody really do before that to build himself up? Of course, he beat Seth Rollins 3 times, but then he got injured. He was out for however long,
Right.
And then he enters at number 30 for the Rumble. It's not like he came at number 1 and powered through it all. He came at number 30, and he threw out Gunther, who was at number 1 or 2 or whatever.
Right.
And so it was like, what did Cody do at that point? What adversity did he really face besides the torn tip? You know what I'm
saying? Right. I mean, we spent a whole year building this man. You know, Brock Lesnar, Shinsuke. It was supposed to be Bray Wyatt, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. And then, of course, The Rock, and then having Bloodline Rules, which ultimately becomes the downfall of Roman Reigns, is the match that he thought was going to benefit him the most. I liked it a lot because like the whole Shield thing with Seth Rollins, where like even 10 years past Rollins turning on Roman still can't get over it. And he chose to take out his anger on Seth than finishing Cody.
Yo, one big gripe I have with all these motherfuckers online, right? All these IWC crybabies online, right? They're all like, Cody need all his help just to beat Roman. It's like, first of all, none of those guys even touch Roman, all right? They were all fending off Roman's people. Like Jey Uso went straight for Jimmy, and then Cena went straight for Solo, and then Undertaker went straight for The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Seth didn't get hit, and Seth himself got hit. Right. So, like, literally, none of them attacked Roman. They were just equaling the playing field. Right. And they're all crying, you know, saying they couldn't beat him without help. Or Roman couldn't beat him without help. Like, what are we talking about right
now? Yeah. I don't know. Anything else you want to add about Mania? Any questions you want to ask about it, WavyD?
Sure. Let's see. Ty, going forward, what's some wrestlers that you saw at WrestleMania that you're looking forward to, or like that you're invested in, you're rooting for, you might hate? What are some wrestlers you're looking forward to going forward?
That's a good question. I don't hate anybody per se. I like Logan Paul. I like Kevin Owens. Let's see. I only saw 5 matches, like you said. And like who I saw before, I guess. I did kind of like it when Dom wrestles. I like the villain vibe he has. Yeah. It's like I like
those stars.
I'm more like I like being entertained. I like the funny stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I want to laugh.
So, and then also another question. I know you didn't see the full story, but at any point during Cody's celebration, did you shed a thug tear?
I was like, okay, he did it because you told me what happened with him, and then like they showed like the recap of the story on like the whatever they did. So like I kind of knew about it. I saw it online, like I said, and I was like, I was asking myself in my head, would they have Roman win again, keep the title, or like they kept talking up the finish the story. On a WWE game, it's just finish the story, right? So.
AEW, you see what marketing does, AEW? You see what promoting your stories and just like a simple video package caught tie up on like 2 to 4 years worth of storytelling.
Literally a 3-minute video caught him up on 4 years of storyline, and now he understands it. Like
exactly.
I mean,
and I also appreciated the match.
I also did see like. After the Royal Rumble, I started getting TikToks on wrestling on my For You page. So I guess it's like
there you go.
So I know about it. So I'm not completely lost. I'm lost, but not completely.
You're good. You're you know what I'm saying. You got enter at some point. You know what I'm saying.
Right. But now that you've entered, it's hard to get out of it.
Exactly. We're at that point in life. I saw some TikToks where there was kids who were like 8 or 6 years old, and like their whole memory is Roman Reigns as champion. Like, there's this kid crying. Roman Reigns was a champion since he was 3 years old. And
How
now
long
he's
has he
like,
been champion? 4 years, right?
yeah, about just about, yeah,
It's crazy. Like
1800.
since 2020.
I honestly, until yesterday, don't remember seeing someone with that belt other than Roman Reigns.
What did he take it from?
Like
Daniel Bryan, right?
Bray Wyatt, I thought.
I gotta look.
Was it Bray Wyatt?
What's his name?
I thought he beat, or did
They
he
may have.
defend it? I thought he beat Bryan, and then defended against Bryan and Edge in a triple threat match. Or I could be wrong. He might.
That may be it.
Time for Google.
That may be
Or
it.
no. I think you're right. I think he beat Bray Wyatt, and then he beat Bryan on SmackDown or Royal Rumble or Elimination or something like that, and then he faced Edge and Bray. I mean Edge and Bryan at WrestleMania.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is dead. Yeah, he passed
Yeah.
away earlier this year, or no, late last year.
August.
Late last year. Let's take a look. Reigns.
That's crazy. Who did he even beat for that title in the first? I'm pretty sure it might have been Bray Wyatt.
Goldberg, Braun, Fiend. Yeah, it was the Fiend.
Yeah, and then I think his first title defense. Well, maybe it was a rematch against Bray Wyatt, but I remember he beat Daniel Bryan on either Royal Rumble or it was a SmackDown in between Mania and Royal Rumble and Mania, and then he defeated Edge and Bryan.
Right.
Triple threat.
Right. So Reigns won it at Mania 38. Where he beat Strowman and the Fiend or Bray Wyatt. Which is crazy that Braun Strowman 4 years ago was in the title picture. Now he can't even get on TV.
Is he still hurt?
I have no idea what's wrong with him, to be honest with you. But that was to win the WWE title, and then he didn't beat Brock Lesnar until SummerSlam that year or something like that to make it undisputed.
Well, no, he had the Universal title and he beat Brock for the WWE title. Brock had the WWE title coming into the Mania.
Okay.
When he unified it.
Right. I don't know. It's been too long. It's crazy how long it's been. I want you to answer your own questions. You know, if you were in Ty's position, who stood out to you the most this Mania that would make you want to watch it?
So if I was coming in like pretty little wrestling history, and I was going off like first impressions, believe it or not, I'd probably say Sami Zayn because he's booked as the ultimate underdog. He has family there. Yada yada yada, so he has a nice underdog story. So that's if I'm going with like a fresh mind, like no backstory. But
he's yes, right? He's yes.
Well,
Yes
that's Daniel Bryan, yeah. Daniel Bryan's the yes guy.
Sami Zayn. Yeah.
They're both disheveled, bearded men, yeah.
Yeah, they look basically the same.
What's his name?
Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. Look at them side by side. They're relatively the same guy.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, if I'm looking forward, outside of Cody in the main title picture, I'm looking forward to what's next for Randy Orton because I think Randy Orton has a big year ahead of him as far as the title picture. I think, especially after the shakeup, I think he's definitely fine for a world title. I'm curious about the Judgment Day moving forward because everything's kind of cool right now because Rhea got her title, Damian got his title, but like where does Finn stand with all this?
Right.
Also, Dom and the whole LWO Legado the Fantasma, like he's getting too big for his britches. I'm excited for that storyline going forward. My boy Mysterio, all-time favorite. There's a lot of stuff. I'm just interested in a lot of stuff. But I would say Sami Zayn if I was on a clean slate with no prior knowledge.
Okay. Ty didn't watch night one, so DJ, what did you feel of Jade's debut?
I wanted to see more action out of her. That match I feel went by too fast.
Yeah. It went exactly how I thought it was gonna go.
I mean, yeah, you definitely called it how Naomi was going to take most of the bumps. Bianca comes in, and then then she makes a tag to Jade. Jade clears house. I was expecting a little more offense from Jade. We got maybe like 5 moves. I was looking for a little bit more, but hopefully all this training is not for nothing, and she actually has a move set. I'm not trying to see like another another Goldberg, where it's like punches and kicks, and then 5 moves of doom. I'm trying to see a woman who could potentially main event a 25-minute WrestleMania main event in the future.
Right.
I'm trying to see someone who can carry us through the dog months or the dog days of November. I'm trying to see someone who can main event a Backlash or main event a No Mercy or main event whatever, a Survivor Series or something. I'm trying to see someone who can main event these in between the non Big Four shows.
Right.
Who could be a consistent main eventer on SmackDown?
What are the Big Fours?
Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, SummerSlam.
When's SummerSlam and Survivor? One of those.
Survivor Series is usually first. No,
it's the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then SummerSlam's typically like the last week of July or first week of August.
Okay.
I think I forgot. They announced the date this year. It's in Cleveland of all places. This year. Because when I think of the summer, I think of Cleveland.
Ohio.
But I mean that's gonna be a good show anyway. I mean, Logan Paul is probably gonna headline it. So, I guess any final words you guys have on, your experience this weekend before we move forward?
I might hop off after this, but I enjoyed it. I would, now that I got Peacock, maybe I'll be back on the show more. I don't know, but I did like what I saw. I really was entertained. Seriously, like they did a good job. I'm not gonna lie.
Perfect.
I'm ready for it. WrestleMania did a good job. I'm ready to go forward. Keep moving on. Keep selling out arenas. I'm ready for it.
Perfect. Well, I do appreciate you coming on. It's good to hear your experience, getting into wrestling. I always like to hear people doing that, being a fan as long as I have. So, you're always welcome on here.
Appreciate it. Hey, thank you guys. Be safe. Good luck.
Hasta luego.
Ciao.
All right. See, look, AEW. That right there is literally proof of what I've been saying the last 5 years of this is why you market to the fans who don't know wrestling. Because now we have a new fan. Guess what? He ain't watching your product. But now we're gonna get back to the show here. We're gonna do a segment we typically do at first, but I didn't want to throw Ty into all this. We're gonna get cooking here, and I want to see what Wavy D has here. So as we spoke, Gunther lost the title. And with him losing the title, our Let's Get Cooking this week is how would you book him to the main event? So I'll let you go first.
All right, first, I'm booking him into a how do we get you out of Imperium kind of situation. All right, are we going to keep Imperium around as lackeys? Or are we keep maybe one of them around, none of them around? How are we going to keep him with Imperium or separate him from Imperium? That's the first thing we got to look at. Because, first of all, I think Kaiser and Giovanni are also great wrestlers in their own right.
Right.
These guys can wrestle their asses off. Especially Giovanni. I'm a big fan of Giovanni.
He's the most underrated member of that tag division.
Yes.
Everyone's, especially that tag, everyone loves Kaiser, everyone loves Gunther, and they're really good, but people sleep on Vinci.
Yes, it's super Vinci hard. No Diddy. But how do we book him either with them or away from them? And then who do we put him up against before he gets to the title? You know what I'm saying? of course, he ran through the whole mid card. He ran through the upper mid card. Do we put him in like the matches with like the Drew McIntyres? Also, I assume we're still gonna book him as a heel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, he has had a few heel versus heel matchups. You know what I'm saying? But our book Gunther as a heel, a tweener. We're not gonna put him face at this point.
No.
So we do a heel or a tweener. We going against people like Drew McIntyre, or maybe after the shakeup, maybe sort of like a Bobby Lashley, who's an established name but doesn't really need any wins right now.
Right.
Like put over younger talent. The Gunthers versus Damian Priests of the world, Finn Balor's of the world. Get through Judgment Day, and also what title are we putting him against? Are we putting him against Cody or Damian with the whole world heavyweight title?
Right.
If you want to just see him battle and not quite win yet, I say put him against Cody. But
right.
But it's weird because like you want to push him, but you don't want to halt his push. But there's certain guys who I think win that prize first, or also can't take losses against Gunther. So it's definitely going to be very sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, handle him.
Absolutely. So my question then, I guess, would be like, would having him win Money in the Bank be a cop out? Like the easy way to get him into that picture? Because to me, I think it is. Like, I mean, I don't think he needs to be pushed to main event. He is at one point the main event of Raw before the World Heavyweight title got created. He was basically the forefront, the main champion on that show. And so I would have him feud with Cody at first. Maybe not his first like official feud, but I would throw him against Cody. Get your prototypical, like stereotypical WWE sort of like all American boy versus the foreign enemy,
born threat.
Right? The foreign born enemy. The question I also have going forward is what's the plan? Is he going to be champion at Bash at Berlin? And if so, like, is he going to beat Cody there? I don't see him beating. I would, Triple H has been saying, we're entering this new era. We're going to talk about that terminology here in a minute. Do we sort of throw away the heel versus face and maybe start doing some heel versus heel, more like nuanced storylining? I think fans like me would appreciate it, but I don't know if the more casual fans would pick up on all of it. I don't know how we get there, but
like you were saying, you said plenty of times, Vince was really great at building baby faces, and Triple H is really good at building heels. Right now, there's a lot of likable faces, but they're all like upper mid card. We don't have any like
we don't have that guy. Right, we don't have that guy.
And that guy right now is Cody, but he can't really take that loss right now. Like he just built him up so much to get this title,
right?
And you want to keep him up there so he can be on a level when it comes to facing The Rock and stuff like that. Like you got to keep him as your guy,
right?
And I think you almost have to turn Gunther face-ish to the point to where like he could face these top heels.
So what about we turn Gunther face by having Vinci and Kaiser turn on him and joining someone like Ilya Dragunov? I guess it's stereotypical to put another, German character in that group, but I could see like Dragunov and Gunther have history, and Dragunov comes in and sort of turns the Vinci and Kaiser against Gunther, and that sort of can turn Gunther face. I don't know necessarily. I've never seen Gunther as a face, so I don't really know if he could play that part.
Neither have I.
So I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Well, one thing I'm thinking, once you get to the draft or the shakeup, you put him on a roster with But with the
That's
like of
going to
like a
be
Kevin Owens,
right,
LA Knight,
right.
AJ Styles, beat those top guys. Because like again,
There's
those
there's a
are the
lot this
top
draft.
guys, but they're over there.
Right, there's a lot of questions with this draft. Like, is Cody going to go to SmackDown? I don't see that because I really feel like this draft is going to set us up for the new TV deals. I don't imagine we'll do another draft in 5 months when the new TV deals take place. And then Netflix don't take place till January. So this draft is really going to be like setting up the rosters to push us into October when SmackDown moves to USA and NXT moves to CW. I don't know what the fuck Raw is going to do. I think there's like a temporary deal with USA
Just finish out the year. That's what I'm thinking.
to finish out the year. So like I would imagine Netflix wants Cody Rhodes on Raw. So does that mean Damian Priest gets shipped out to SmackDown? But if he's still part of Judgment Day, I'm certain Rhea's not going to go to SmackDown because Raw's probably going to want all the top talent.
You might want all the top talent, but we can't afford to give you all the top talent. And then also, I mean, you can put. What was just thinking? How you get balance out? I'm assuming Braun Breaker's gonna get a big push. So how do you balance out the pushes of people like Gunther and Braun Breaker? While keeping
I'm
Cody
certain
on top?
Carmelo Hayes is about to get drafted.
Carmelo Hayes. I think Carmelo Hayes can afford some losses.
Right.
Do you have Braun Breaker run rampant with like the U.S. title for half a year or something? And I don't know. It's a lot of questions. It's definitely a very good look forward to.
It's one of those.
I think Gunther is that world heavyweight title picture.
Absolutely. I think the world heavy because I've always sort of seen. I mean, they've booked that title as like the workman's title that fits Gunther, right? That fits Gunther, right? I always see like the universal title was like you're the guy, and I like Gunther, but I've never really seen him in that light. He's the guy that can wrestle every single night if he needs to, but he's not like the face of the company. He's not going to go on the Today Show, and do all of that. Speaking of interviews, this whole WrestleMania week got started. I forgot, was it last Monday or last Tuesday?
It was on Monday.
It was Monday with our man Pepsi Phil. Got to drink the Pepsi in honor of our man CM Punk on MMA Hour, which is Ariel Helwani's show. And this just created an entire shitstorm of response from the internet trolls and nerds on the internet, where Ariel Helwani did his job as a actual sports journalist and asked questions hard. He didn't just let Punk come in and oh, so are you ready for WrestleMania? And no, he asked the hard questions that everyone wants to know the answers to, and Punk gave them answers. But I don't think anything was too controversial.
Also, mind you, these are the same questions he asked Punk. He asked Tony Khan a year before.
These same questions. And Tony Khan wouldn't answer them. That was the worst interview I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I rewatched it today in its entirety. I rewatched the Tony Khan interview in its entirety today, just to make sure I was make sure I wasn't doing no bias. Make sure Ariel wasn't biased. Make sure my recollection wasn't biased. I went back and watched it. Tony Khan was on some BS, bro. He answered no questions. He kept talking about their 2 hours and 15 minutes worth of TV this week. Oh my
god, bro. So I guess I kind of talked about this last Friday. But what's your thoughts on this whole situation with everyone sort of oh, Punk done pissed off the wrong people, this, that, and the third. He said, he's lying. It's always Punk's fault. He doesn't want to take responsibility. What's your thoughts on all this?
So the crazy part is that Punk didn't even say nothing crazy or disrespectful in the first place.
Right.
Punk just answered his questions as comfortable as he could without breaking the NDA or whatever. he didn't really speak nothing bad on Tony. He's like, yo, Tony's a cool dude. He's just not a great boss. And literally, which has been echoed throughout the wrestling community from old, especially the old heads who know the business. They'll all tell you, like Jim Cornette will tell you. People try to call him biased.
Bischoff
Dudley,
has been saying it.
Bischoff,
Has been
Bubba,
saying it. Yeah.
Zeb Coulter. Like, I know it's a weird name to throw out there, but I was listening to Zeb Coulter talk about it today. But literally, so to give you a rundown of the timeline, I put a little rundown in the group chat earlier.
Right.
All right. So here's how the timeline goes. CM Punk gets hurt. He's away from the company for like 6 months. All right. Mm-hmm. Mind you, nobody. Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that happened before this, but I'm giving you kind of like the lead up to his departure.
Right.
CM Punk gets hurt. He's away from the company for like 6 months, and CM Punk said nobody from AEW reached out to him. Well, guess what, guys? If that's false, call him out on it. He's telling you his side of the story. If CM Punk was really out for 6 months and nobody said nothing to him, shame on you as a company. Let's see. Tony creates separate rosters where CM Punk told him, I don't think it's a good idea. Separate shows. I don't like the idea. Anyways, keep moving forward. Dynamite guys still show up on Collision, even though they're meant to keep them apart. The Dynamite boys still show up. Also, to be clear, I don't think Jack Perry was really in the wrong either. I think the person in the wrong here is Tony Khan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jack Perry's a young dude trying to prove himself. Was he on a little bit of bullshit? Sure, he was on a little bit of bullshit.
So,
was he too big for his britches? Sure, but...
Yeah, I think in this particular situation of Perry and CM Punk and the whole thing that happened in London, I think Jack Perry should take some blame for it, but it is Tony Khan's fault.
For not nipping in the butt.
Because 2 years prior, you could have stopped this whole damn thing by growing some testicles and actually being a boss. And the thing that like kills me is like Punk goes up to him, according to Punk, and again, none of us know what actually happened because we weren't there,
and nobody speaks about it.
Right, and we're not allowed to talk about it. No one ever says what happens, and so Punk tells us that he goes up to Tony. And Tony Khan says, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know. What the fuck do you like? You're the leader, dude. Like, you don't have an assistant who can run guerrilla while you calm this guy, this boy. You know, Jungle Boy has never been disciplined in his life. You can tell. His dad was a Hollywood superstar. You can tell he grew up entitled. His best friends are from, the Young Bucks are from one of the richest parts of California. Like, they've never been told no a day in their life. And so when you have that type of culture and you have someone like CM Punk who comes in who, is throw punches first and apologize after, I could tell you that's not going to, work together. And then my whole thing is if Punk is telling the truth and he asked Tony Khan to release him and Tony Khan didn't, and the fans are still going to take Tony Khan's side, but they're the same fans that complain when Vince McMahon didn't release Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same situation, but it's okay when Tony Khan does it. But this drama could have stopped, with the Hangman shit. Yeah. With Tony Khan, because if CM Punk's telling the truth, and I believe he is, and because you could tell on his face, if you go back and watch the promo with him and Hangman, you could tell he was kind of confused as shit of what was going on. And so like they had worked out a promo and Hangman went off script, which is just completely unprofessional because now Punk's got to ad lib and not make a fucking joke out of the whole segment. And so, I mean, Tony Khan, when Hangman gets backstage, Tony Khan should have been up in his face like, what the fuck was that? That's what Vince McMahon would have done. And as Vince McMahon has a lot of demons and he's gone, we're not going to, use even Triple H. If Triple H, here's a promo not tell the story that they're trying to tell, I'm sure he's gonna right. Hey, you're not on TV next week. So, I mean, Tony Khan just gives these people free reign and then complains when shit happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not like fully faulting Jack Perry. Like
Right.
if we want to put it between the two of them, CM Punk and Jack Perry, sure, I'll blame Jack Perry more.
Right.
But if we're trying to like, where do we place the blame in this? I'm blaming it on Tony Khan because
and I've been there. That's sort of been my whole position through everything that happens. Is like, well, Tony, no one takes you serious because you don't do anything about anything. And like this whole situation of like, why do I believe CM Punk? Well, I mean, he mentioned it about there's there's no family room, so you got mothers of Jacksonville Jaguar players breastfeeding in public restrooms. Like that's not acceptable. But not even that. There was the health department was called out because they did a survey of the stadium, the Jaguar Stadium, and there was a rat infestation in the fucking concession stand. And that no one did anything about. And then his soccer team over in, I think it's Fulham FC that he runs, and on the biggest day of the year, which is, their trade deadline, it's the transfer period in soccer. Tony Khan, instead of trying to make the team better, he's hanging out at WrestleCon with all the nerds. So like, we're not the only fan base that's complaining about Tony Khan. Everybody complains about the Khans, and ultimately, if we really want to place blame, I want to put some blame now on Shad, because Shad's enabling this behavior by continuing to give money to it.
Well, I mean, the crazy part is how CM Punk was quiet during all this, right? He didn't say nothing. Meanwhile, you got Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp, Alvarez, all these other dirt sheets who are throwing junk on Punk's name, throwing dirt on his name. Punk returns to WWE, doesn't mention AEW. Did he make a couple jabs about punch people in the workplace? Sure, whatever. But it's not like he took a microphone, went center of the ring, and just shit on AEW. He was
every WWE it's like almost like a thing now in AEW when like an ex WWE superstar gets there, like their first promo is like, I'm glad to be here. It's better than the last place I was at.
Yeah. And the crazy part is that so I was talking to the group chat earlier how like AEW will take jabs every week at WWE, right? They'll throw shots every week, every other week. But as soon as WWE hits like a heavy hitter, they mollywop them with one interview. Now everybody wants to talk about what's all negativity for? Why bring up old news? And first of all, CM Punk he didn't talk about this yet. He got asked the question by Ariel Helwani. He asked Tony Khan the same questions. It's not CM Punk's fault that Tony Khan didn't want to answer these questions. It's not Ariel's fault.
Yeah, and everyone sort of like makes this narrative that it's, everyone's got beef with AEW. No one has. Bischoff does not give two fucks about AEW. Half of the time when he meant and Ariel Helwani does not care about Tony Khan. He's just upset that he gave him precious time on his show, and Tony Khan was on some bullshit the entire episode. And so, Punk went on a show during the biggest media week of the year for WWE. It's not like he went there and was like, ask me about AEW. Yes. Ariel Helwani asked questions. CM Punk gave the answers that he could.
He also went there on Monday morning. So mind you, that by the time the week was over, that interview was about to get buried by Monday Night Raw, by NXT, by SmackDown, by NXT Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, literally Ring of Honor Supercard, whatever. Like literally all these events were happening. That was just gonna bury Punk's news. But now we're at the point that to our next point. Now we come to a situation where what's it called? Tony Khan, he sends Adam Copeland out to the ring to give a big rah-rah speech about We should all love professional wrestling, no matter what company you're from or what show you're watching. Professional wrestling is the best time for
the
professional wrestling.
lamest promo I've ever heard in
Yeah,
my life.
it was crazy. Like, a little side note: I was watching Adam Copeland give this speech, and like this man could not look at the hard cam section for more than 2 seconds because there was nobody to talk to on that side. He's talking to every direction but the hard cam because there's nobody on that side to talk to. No audience.
Right.
He's trying to like look at the audience in their eyes, but he can't. But and then so Tony Khan sends Adam Copeland out here. Sorry, Tony. So if people say Adam Copeland, he spoke on his own behalf. Well, guess what, Tony? It's your show. Nobody's gonna cut a promo without your say so. So
Right.
you essentially sent Adam Copeland out here, Edge, for those who don't know who he is. You sent Adam Copeland out here to make this rah-rah speech on your behalf. Some people say Dax, but apparently Dax does it at all his shows. He gives some rah-rah speech at the end. So I'll let Dax slide, whatever. That's what James said, that he does this every show.
But even still, like even without the Dax thing, you start your show and you address whether or not you see it as competition or we're not competing. We're the it doesn't matter. You address a competing company's performer for something that he didn't even start. Like, it's great. And then they're going to do it again a week later.
Essentially, in that promo, they called it a truce.
Right.
I just calling for a truce. Just wrestling fans enjoy wrestling. And then literally, yeah, then Tony Khan's like, psych, we're gonna drop the footage.
I just want to know, like, what's the footage gonna do? Because I think I put this in the Discord. Those who like CM Punk, their mind's not going to be changed by this footage. Those who hate CM Punk, their mind's not going to be changed by the footage. And those in the middle who don't actually give a fuck, they don't really care. They're not watching the show anyway. This just feels like a big ratings grab because literally he spent $16 million this year on 3 wrestlers, and every single week since they've all debuted, they've lost viewership. So this to me just feels like this is going to be the biggest number, and it should be sad because it's going to be the biggest number you've hit probably all year to tune in to watch someone who doesn't work for your company anymore, to see what CM Punk did. So
did AEW drop really bad numbers this week? I feel like there was something where that they were. It was either this week or last week. They
dropped 90. They dropped 90,000 people. Yeah,
yeah.
They lost 90,000 people.
They're going through the numbers, and like Mercedes Moné lost so many people.
Yeah. Monet and Okada are the least watched things whenever they're on TV. Ospreay at least keeps a crowd, but
yeah, Ospreay is probably the best wrestler in the world. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get some serious push behind him. He's seriously talented.
Cornette told us how to book him. They literally did zero promotion of this guy. You just did a promo package saying, Ospreay's coming, or showing different matches from New Japan that he was in to excite people to watch him at least. And then you have someone that's somewhat excitable. Like, the whole show's boring half the time. But I mean, I don't really want to harp on CM Punk, but it seems like it's the only thing that can get ratings anymore for AEW. So, you talked about Stand and Deliver. There was a match there. So, like, one of my questions I was going to ask you, like, of the entire weekend, what was your favorite match?
The triple threat.
Like, that triple threat on NXT was a fucking banger. Banger. That's the only match this weekend that I always keep a list of like potential match of the years. That's the only match of this weekend, because the only match in Mania I was even going to consider giving that hype to was Uso versus Uso, and we got to have a talk about this match.
Well, I think Bailey Io gets some consideration.
I don't know. I don't remember it as much. Probably because Roman Reigns lost the fucking title and I just fucking forgot everything else that happened. But Uso versus Uso. And then the same producer, Jason Jordan, I'm looking at you, produces a street fight that was some shit. We got to talk about having him as the producer of these PLEs. Because that Uso match was maybe the worst match I've ever seen in my life.
That shit was garbage. Yo,
like when I say that this was I thought you were joking when you said, "Hey, it's just going to be a super kick part." You weren't fucking lying. You booked the entire match. It was literally like 16 super kicks.
Yep,
And
I kept the counter. That shit was garbage, bro. Like we were looking forward to that match like crazy. We were all hyped up. Jason
like we were
Jordan,
hyped for like that was like a whole like 8 month worth of hype because they turned last year at Mania was when Jay left. So like it was like a whole year worth of hype for this match, and we get that.
Bro, like Solo didn't even get involved, and like low key, if you were gonna do a special guest referee, bring Rikishi in or something like a special guest enforcer. Like
right.
You book Rikishi as a special guest referee, or maybe he replaced. Maybe the ref goes down to a bump and Rikishi comes out,
right?
And then like Solo tries to interfere, but Rikishi calls off Solo because that's his son, and Solo listens to his dad or whatever, and then bada bing, bada boom, you got like at the end of the match, you got Rikishi forcing his sons to hug or something. I don't know. Like give it like it was some bullshit.
There was a tweet. I think it was Santi who said this. That the brawl on night 2 on the stage was better than the whole match on night 1.
Yeah.
It's crazy how bad that match was. That match kind of irritated me a little bit.
Bro, they better run it back, and you better put Jamie Noble and Sean Helms or
put Bobby Roode on that bitch. Bobby Roode produced the Bloodline matches this week or this at WrestleMania.
Put Bobby Roode. What's their guy name?
Michael Hayes, I think was the other
Michael
one.
Hayes,
yeah.
Or if not, put Jamie Noble on that. Jamie Noble and Hurricane Helms. Those boys put together good matches. Jason Jordan, I'm gonna hold you, boy. You might have to go to WWE Speed, bro. You got some decent matches with Speed. Like, I'm not sure what you produce on Raw and SmackDown because I don't look at the producer thing for Raws and SmackDowns. I don't know how available it is. I assume it's available somewhere. But like you gave us the rundown for Mania.
Right,
Jason Jordan, bro. Come on,
bro. Trying to think. Oh, you're going to be a no here because you predicted this, but did the Priest cash in catch you by surprise?
Nah,
you predicted it. So.
I predicted. I mean, I didn't know how it was going to go down. I figured CM Punk would get involved some way, but I was more surprised that CM Punk didn't get involved until post match,
until after the match, right?
Because if you look at it, he got provoked again.
Right. Well, that's like the theme of the theme of like night 2 was people, not able to let go of other because Seth Rollins lost because he couldn't keep his nose out of the Bloodline's business, so he comes in bruised and battered and got very little offense in that match. He got the shit beat out.
Yeah.
And then McIntyre wins it, but he can't keep his nose out of CM Punk's business, and so Punk then comes in and costs him the title, which is cinematic, and like that was very good storytelling to start the show. And then Roman Reigns, like we noticed, Seth Rollins comes out in the Shield, and Reigns could have finished the match and finished off Cody, but instead he couldn't put the drama or the his hatred for Seth Rollins. And I gotta give some credit to Seth. He may be my MVP of this weekend. He was quite literally the shield for Cody Rhodes, and people were like, "Well, Cody, on the Beyond the Junkyard podcast was like, oh, this is the worst booked Mania ever. Why is Seth Rollins in the match against? Why is he in the tag team match? Why is he interfering in Cody Rhodes' business?" Well, we have your answer. That's literally that's why he was in the story. And so, I mean, just a little bit of patience, a little bit of let this shit play out. Triple H knows what he's doing. It's I don't like to say the Triple H era because I mean he said it's not my era, it's our era. But whatever happens, I'm excited for it.
I'm not gonna hold you for like 1 or 2 seconds. I thought John Moxley might come out for a second.
Bro, when the Shield music played, there was a thought of me of like, there's no way this is gonna be Seth. he's done. Is this gonna be fucking Moxley? And I would have lost my shit if it was Moxley.
I was like, yo, how big of a check did Nick Khan write to get Moxley there? That would be a check. Oh
yeah.
I don't know. I forgot if this is on a rundown or not. I don't want to skip too far ahead, but when we get there, we gotta cover a little bit of Monday Night Raw.
We can talk a little bit about it. We are recapping this whole weekend. And Raw after Mania is always the biggest Raw of the year, or at least one of the most exciting ones. So yeah, what do you want to talk about with it?
So did you get a chance? Oh yeah, you watched the opening segment, right? You watched it live with the rest of us.
I watched it live up until Snorri Zane came on the TV and fucking put me to sleep. Yeah,
that's fine. All we got to cover is the opening segment. That's what we got covered. So you watched the opening segment.
Yeah.
And so, Cody came out, we're living everything, saying he's out there doing his thing for like 25 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cody's a great promo, don't get me wrong. But he just strikes me as the person who wants to cut 20-minute promos. I feel like he does a good job of condensing his stuff down to like a good 10, 15-minute promo, really get his point across.
Right.
But he's out there, they're watching the video together with him and Triple H and his daughter and all this stuff. Like, okay, amazing. I was shedding a thug tear. And then The Rock's music hits. No, I'm not gonna lie. Right. I think Rock was gonna be there. I expected to be there. I don't know. I just wasn't thinking.
I didn't think he would be, but I had read something on Twitter earlier that he was at the arena, so I kind of figured he would be a part of the show.
And I listened to Busted Open today. They were talking about a little bit of their rundown of this, and they were amazed at how The Rock went from his music hit. He was getting cheered on his way to the ring. As soon as he steps in the ring, he started getting Rocky, and then Rocky sucks, and it elevated to boos and shut the fuck ups and assholes but Bully Ray was pointing out how he thinks The Rock actually got flustered to throw off his game. He thinks the crowd got to him. What was your kind of interpretation? Like, do you think The Rock was a little bit off? What what's your thoughts on the segment as a whole, I guess?
That was probably one of the most awkward promos I've ever seen. Like, it just didn't really have much flow to it. And I'm sure, The Rock is very good at building a story, but especially if he's going away, I don't really see why we had to be out there that long. But he leaves us with this cliffhanger that we're going to sit here for the next year trying to figure out what the fuck that he hands Cody Rhodes. And that's all you need to do. So I think it got its point. I think it got its point across. I just think in the middle of it, it was just a little bit confusing.
The whole "can I hold your belt" thing or hold your title, that thing was a little weird. I mean, it definitely built tension, and I was like, okay, where are we going? But then we didn't really go anywhere. So I was it had me on my seat, on the edge of my seat, but then I was like, where are we going?
Where are we going with it? Right. And like I said, I don't think this match, I personally don't think we get Roman and Rock, because I think they've struck gold on something that would be bigger, which is Rock versus Cody. Sort of just organically came about because of the We Want Cody movement.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bigger story, especially now that Roman's lost. I don't necessarily think we need to do a Roman versus Rock match. I don't think it adds to anything. Unless they just want to throw it in there to see who the better Samoan is. But even still, I don't think there's much interest in that anymore.
No. A lot of speculation, but what do you think The Rock handed Cody?
I think it was you who put it. So I like the idea of it being like his dad's ashes. I think it was you who put that in the.
I spitballed that in there, but then I'm backtracking. I don't think that's it. The more I think about it, nah, because it has to be something that Cody can realize what it is without actually looking at it.
Right.
But Bully Ray was set on like the Rock. It was the watch or whatever. It was Dusty's watch, or I guess he broke the watch or something. It was he because.
So someone said something that because Cody had made a tweet earlier in the week that his bus caught on fire, but they never mentioned it on TV, and so there were some people sort of speculating that it was like a lighter.
Yeah, I brought that up in the Discord. Yeah,
and that Rock was sort of like teasing that he was the one that set his bus on fire.
Because also,
I don't know.
Remember, if you remember, we said before that he said no fireworks or whatever. He kept saying like no fireworks. He said like 2 or 3 times during the promo. He said no fireworks. Yeah. And then they misquoted what he said. He didn't say you broke my heart or something. He said
or don't break my heart again or whatever.
Yeah, don't break my heart again. But then that's when people thought that maybe he was referencing AEW because he left WWE and started AEW. That it might be MJF's like ring. But I think that's too left field. I don't think it's his ring.
So I'm sort of off this MJF hype. If he was here, it would have happened yesterday. Unless he's like in the draft, which is very interesting because the draft is the week after the next AEW pay-per-view.
The Legacy one or whatever. Dynasty?
Dynasty is on April 21st, and then the Friday after that is when the draft starts. So I think it'd be very interesting if MJF doesn't show up at Dynasty. I still think there's a shot that he gets drafted as like a surprise draft pick.
Until I see MJF on AEW TV, I think MJF is a strong possibility.
I'm treating it the same way. I'm treating it the same way I treat CM Punk. Until he's on AEW, he's still there's still a same way I treated Mercedes Moné until she showed up. There was still a chance WWE could have got her.
Also, you necessarily you don't want to overshadow MJF debut by having The Rock also there,
right?
So you got to spread those big names or whatever. But I think it's a lighter or a burnt match. I think he handed him a lighter. I think he alluded to because so some people went to I was on Twitter and TikTok and everything. Some people went into detective mode and they like researched if like Philadelphia had any like reported fires at the Lincoln Financial Field. And as far as like the blotters or whatever, nothing has been found about an actual reported fire over the weekend at Mania or over that week. So they think it's like strictly storyline, and that is just all the Rock Liz thing. His place is bust on fire,
right? Since we're talking about Raw, we're gonna move to the questions from Discord. We only got 2 this week. We talked about the one James put in there a little bit in the chat, but he talked about, we had Dragunov and Roxanne Perez show up this week. And so his question was like, why were the only, and he called them call-ups, and this is what I really want to talk about. Why were the call-ups their champions? Assuming it's to advertise the draft. Are they going to have these championships vacated? And just like we said in the Discord, you made a great point. These weren't call-ups. These were showcases. And I think this, again, is more of an example of what I've been saying. Internally, Triple H and Shawn Michaels do not see NXT as developmental anymore. I think this idea of like an NXT call-up is over.
I don't know. Me and you still differ on that.
I don't think they see it as a promotion. It's more of just we're moving you to a bigger show.
So the reason I still look at it as PLEs, as a lower like promotion or developmental promotion, is until NXT rivalries and NXT feuds are featured on main roster PLEs, I can't look at them as a third brand. The perfect chance to put Mello and
Trick on Mania. I agree with that point. That I do think if they want us to treat them treat NXT the same way that we are going to have some of these, like at least at SummerSlam and Mania, and even like, I mean, because Rumble, we still have NXT people show up at Rumble, but at least at SummerSlam, Mania, and Survivor Series. Or I'm even thinking like, why can't we have like 2 people in the Money in the Bank match from NXT? Because that would be something new if like fucking Dijak came in and won the Money in the Bank contract or something like that. So I see your point. I just personally, for me, like I think they view like, so I don't know if you remember, if you caught this on commentary, but Michael Cole did say that Dragunov was in the draft.
Okay.
So I do think, I know there's reports that they're going to try to Gunther him with this title, but I think he's going to drop it here soon.
Okay.
Because he is going to be in the draft. I don't think Trick gets drafted. I think Trick's going to be the guy in NXT.
Okay.
So, I mean, Roxanne, I'm upset she won that title. She's an awkward ass heel because she can't do it. She can't.
I like Roxanne. Lyra Valkyria was not doing it for me, especially when I watched her in the Stand and Deliver match. She still seems like she doesn't know what she's doing in the ring sometimes. Like it seems like she gets lost or confused, or is like going through a little bit of an emotion, or she's a step behind, so really she looks a little lost. But Lyra wasn't doing it for me, especially at Stand and Deliver. I don't watch her weekly, so maybe she does better on the weekly television. But on the big stage, she wasn't quite doing it for me yet. Just another reason I still look at it as like developmental or not on the same tier as Raw and SmackDown is, even if we look back to the last draft from last year, like you got like Grayson Waller and who got called from the women's side? Who's the women's call up? Zoe Stark or whatever. Yeah, Zoe Stark and Grayson.
Indy.
And she got called up too.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting there and they're like NXT or performance undershirts, and they're like, so got drafted to SmackDown. They're like, yay, I'm going to the main roster. And they do an interview like, what you ready to showcase your skills on the main roster on SmackDown or whatever, Friday nights. And you're like, yeah, I'm ready to bring Grayson Waller to the main stage and show these guys that they're lucky to have me. Yeah. And it's like, also, when you're doing this draft, if you're not equally spreading stars amongst the 3 rosters, if you're just sending like Kofi and Xavier to NXT or the Legado del Fantasma or whatever, like Angelo Garza and Humberto Carrillo, if that's what you're given, or you're giving Dolph Ziggler for like a 3-month stretch, if you're not spreading the talent equally amongst the 3, and you're giving like the guys who are like been around but we don't have anything to do for them right now, send them down there to like rediscover their new character. Like, I mean, as far as in-ring product, I think most of NXT has the in-ring product to compete with the main roster, but there is definitely developmental is finding their character and finding their persona.
I can see that. I can respect that opinion. But yeah, in terms of James's question, like his premise is wrong because he thought that Dragunov got caught up, and obviously it wasn't a call up. It was, hey, this is who our champion is on NXT. Watch tomorrow because he's going to be there. And so I don't really have an answer for his question because the whole question's sort of incorrect. So Kara then asked, as good as that main event was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how predictable was the outcome? I'm going to go a 5 because I don't think it was all that predictable until Cena showed up. Like, once Cena showed up, I was like, yeah, okay, Cody's winning. But throughout that whole match, like, it was booked 50-50 until the last 5 minutes.
For me, it was still 50-50 until he hit that third crossroad.
Right. I was still expecting, because we were sort of thrown on Saturday that Jacob Fatu had signed. I was like, well, where the fuck is he? And so I think he's going to NXT.
I think WrestleMania is too big to debut him there.
Yeah.
Especially
think
in anything significant.
right. NXT is going to get some big names down there for a little bit. Julia's going there. But she's got dates in Japan she's got to finish, and then I think it's like the summer until she'll be there. But I think Jacob Fatu goes down there. NXT is gonna be cooking. It's gonna be cooking. And
speaking of cooking,
I
got a cooking. So I have a cooking segment for you next week.
All right, send it to me. I'm looking forward to it. And then she sort of. Her last question was, how do you feel about Triple H letting AEW references go and be allowed in the product? And so I want to sort of counter this with a question, because I don't necessarily think he allows it in the product, but I think they really happen in like outside of the ring interviews. Like Jade talked about it on Busted Open. I think Hunter's okay with it, because like you can't avoid, especially with someone like Jade, like you're not going to be able to avoid these questions. And I know like in the press conference, like I forgot who it was. I think it was Chris Van Fleet who asked about AEW to Cody. Like you with Cody, with Jade, with Punk, if MJF shows up, you're not going to be able to avoid AEW. And so if you're going to do a press conference, you're going to have to handle these questions. But like I don't recall anything in the actual like on-screen product that is any like jab at, I know people will talk about like McAfee on his show said something about, oh, he could be at that other program with 600 viewers or whatever. But I mean, you're not gonna be able to tell Pat what to say, because Pat does whatever the fuck Pat wants to do.
Yeah, and also that's Pat's show.
Right. So I think Triple H is fine with it. I'm fine with it. I mean, if AEW can poke jabs, why can't they take them? Is how I look at it.
Yeah, I love it when it's like subliminal shots where it's like you kind of gotta know what's going on to know the shot.
Right. It's not like out in the open
like a rap bar.
Right. It's and like someone like Punk or like Pat McAfee, they're really clever with how they say some of the shit. And so it's almost like if you're not paying attention, you're not going to catch it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm sure he's fine with it. It doesn't really bother me.
Yeah. Even like if you recall back to the DX reunion when they're like, oh, where's Billy Gunn? And like Corey was like, he's somewhere playing with office supplies or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's like something clever, like give me some rap bars, like give me some subliminal, to where it's like
because like all the AEW people, like the people in Stamford, like okay, just name drop them at that point.
Yeah,
like I don't know it. If you're gonna throw a diss, at least like throw the diss, like don't take it back. Don't pull a J. Cole and take it back after you do it.
Yeah, like I work for the right con. Like, what are we talking about now? Like, come on.
All right, so we'll get up out of here. We'll end it like we always do, but we're doing Thirsty Tuesday a little different. We're starting a tournament. I announced this in the Discord. It's going to be a 32 woman tournament. Brackets already been made and posted, and we're doing. I meant to send you these pictures, but I forgot to. We're doing the first 4 matchups today. So how this is going to work is I've made the bracket and all of that. And you can vote on the Discord. So that counts as 1 point. And then DJWAVYD counts as another point. And then I count as a third point. It's the best 2 out of 3. So if DJWAVYD and I agree, that person technically, I guess, wins. And so it's best 2 out of 3 in the vote. This bracket's pretty tough. I looked at the match. I think it's pretty equal. It's all randomized. So here's our 4 matchups. I'm going to post the pictures in the Discord, and you'll have from after this show is recorded on Tuesday nights up until Saturday morning to vote. and then we'll announce the winners each week on the next show. So let's get started. The first matchup, I think might be the toughest of the week, is Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green.
Ooh.
Like I think Jade Cargill is definitely beautiful and everything, but I think Chelsea Green. Like I'm not even the biggest Chelsea Green glazer. Like I don't think she's like crazy attractive like everyone else thinks.
Right. What's crazy is this was just a match on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
I'm going Jade Cargill. Just personally. So that means the Discord's going to decide this matchup. Whoever gets the most votes wins this from the Discord. And with that being said, me and WavyD can't vote on Discord, so our votes don't count. Or technically, I guess we could react for the person we picked, but it's other reactions from the Discord. Second, we're jumping. So I meant to say this. We're using Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW superstars only. So we're not going to have like random like independent women in this tournament that no one knows who they are. We're jumping to AEW here. We got Mariah May versus Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh, I was like, where's that one at? It's in the bottom left. Okay.
Yeah, bottom left.
Oh, crap. I gotta look up who Mariah May look like again.
Why are you doing that? It's easy for me. It's Deonna.
I'm kind of familiar with Deonna. Like I could picture her in my head. Oh,
she looks like Deonna looks like your standard like
Jersey Shore?
New Jersey girl. Yeah, New Jersey girl. Like just picture like Snooki, and there you go. You got Deonna Purrazzo.
I'm pulling James right now in my coffin, but I've been trying to mute it. So if you're watching the video and you just see me like look to the side coughing, but you can't hear nothing, just gotta mute my mic.
Oh wait, someone actually knows how to do that?
I think I gotta go. I think we're gonna split. We're gonna be split again. I think I gotta go with Mariah May.
I can accept that answer. I'm just, but
she looks like a slightly less version of Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, like if you took away the boobs, then yeah, I can see that.
I mean, she still has those. Not as much, but she still got
not as much, and they're not as like fake looking. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Third matchup, we might decide this one right now. Anna Jay versus Zelina Vega. It's right bottom right, I believe, on the bracket.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. All these AEW wrestlers like, dang, I don't watch that trash.
Zelina Vega versus Anna Jay.
Oh yeah, it's Zelina Vega.
All right, so this one's finished. Yeah, I'm going Zelina as well. So Discord, you can still vote. We want your participation, but Zelina's gonna win this one.
I mean, like she's pretty and all, but like if I'm not taking Julia Hart, I'm not taking Anna Jay.
And then we'll move up top right corner for you. It's Elektra Lopez versus Liv Morgan.
I always get her and Lola Vice mixed up.
She's the one in Legato with Santos now.
Oh no, I don't like her.
You don't like her?
Yeah, I don't like her. Yeah, no, I'm not digging her. Yeah, give me Liv Morgan.
We gonna split on this one as well. I'm picking Elektra.
Oh her face, man. Her face look like she got like a bunch of plastic surgery done to her, Botox or something. She looked like a GTA like stripper. Respectfully.
All right, so we need the Discord participation in 3 of these. We'll announce the winners next week and the next 4 matchups, and I'll let WavyD know ahead of time. That way he can research what they look like before the show.
She definitely got plastic surgery.
But until the next time, thank y'all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And like, comment, share, subscribe, leave us a review, hit up our links in the description, that QR code. Go get you some merch. And don't forget to watch Beyond the Junkyard on Thursday. You know, me and Wavy D might be in the comments livening it up over there.
Boy, yeah, they better have me on that show live, bro. Bring me in Miss Show. I'm talking junk.
Right. And don't forget on Wednesday, you know, CM Punk's going to apparently be exposed and no one's really going to talk about it. But, you know, I'm sure they'll talk about it on Thursday. But until then, this has been the Slap Meat Wrestling Podcast. The WeTooDeep only episode is going to be on Saturday this week. I got to work Friday. They switched my schedule up. So it's going to be on Saturday. Y'all got to wait one more day this week. And until then, we'll see you on the next one.
Shout.
Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I like it's a moment.